Hi there, my lovely friends. Welcome to my happy place. I have a couple things to show you before I get started. This is what I was working on today. This is Lee Armstrong did this tutorial on tags, and instead of using resin to make it shiny, she used nail polish. What a clever idea. And you can get this download from her. I'll put a link to her channel. She's doing a whole series on, you know, making a journal. And then this is something I did this morning. Oh, I'll link her video. She's somebody new that I just found. And yes, that is just a bunch of orts from my ort jar. And it's a name tag. It's a, I don't know what it is. It's a thing. Then I have this thing, which I got from Elizabeth Safa Embroidery. I will put a link to her website. So this is the ebook that I bought. It was $7. No big deal. Then she had this for free. These are new colors for this book that I bought in a wheat field. So this book gives recipes for all those colors, or it tells you all those colors, and these are just new colors that she did for free, which I thought was pretty cool. So I emailed her to ask her if I could show her books on my channel, and I haven't heard back yet. So this is a sweet little birdie. I think it's a robin, red-breasted robin, with some, I don't know if you can tell, those are music notes. And that's a little, I don't know, snowflake star thingy. So this is going to be half of a tag that I'm making for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. Or I should probably just call it my Christmas journal. So what I did here, I made up a pattern from one of the patterns in her book. And I did stem stitch using this 3363. And then I did fly stitch for a little leaf kind of thing. Then I did a couple of Bullion Knot. I think these are called Bullion Knots, even though they're really, really big. And then I thought I should just turn on the camera and show you a couple of them. So I'm going to come up on one side, go back in. You're just supposed to pick up a little tiny, see, I have like, you can see, 3 or 4 threads of fabric. I have a number 5 basting pleating milliner's needle, which means that it's the same width at the eye as it is at the tip. So your thread is not going to get stuck. It's good for knots, French knots, colonial knots. Now, I'm going to have to be quiet because I have to count 22 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 10. Okay. Now, I'm going to look at them, and you notice that these are looser than those at the top. So I want to make sure that they're all the same tightness. I tend to make when I do these, when I first started learning to do these stitches at the near the eye of the needle were always loose, and then it looked funny. And then I'm going to pull through. Now it's easy to pull through if you don't have your wraps too tight. Now I'm going to hang on to this right up until the last second, and then I'm going to pull through, and then I'm gonna go down to the back through there. Then I'm gonna take the first 4 stitches that I do, I'm gonna go back and couch it down, or tack it down. Okay, now I want to hold it up in the air for a minute and unwind the thread a little bit, and then start over again. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go down here and back up there and wrap 22 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to look at my wraps, and the reason that they're looser up there is because when you wrap, you wrap like this, and all those are kind of loose. I figured that out all by myself. All right, so I'm going to make sure that they're like even, and I don't want them too tight. So if you notice, I'm rolling them this way. That will kind of, or that way. That I want to make sure that they're not too tight and they're not too loose. So if you roll this way, it'll loosen them up. All right, here we go. I'm going to hold on, pull through. Look at that. Pretty neat. And pull. I know you can't see that I'm holding it, but I am. And then now I can hold that down like that. Wow. I've seen people do this. It can be done. Then I'm going to go to the back. And then I'm going to tack it down. Okay. Now, I was hoping to leave enough room in the center for some nice French knots, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And let's do the other thing that you can do, which I've seen people do, is come up here. I mean, I went back down, and I left the thread. Burp, 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 burp. I'm going to come up here, And then make sure I have enough thread that I can wrap. Okay. And then hang on and wrap clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. Now, you can kind of see how those are a little bit looser than the ones at the top. Kind of play with it and make sure they're all even. All right, here we go. A little bit tight. Now I can always let go and loosen them a bit, but you have to be careful when you do that, that you don't like completely let go. I don't like this method. Won't be doing that again. All right. And that one now is just going to be hanging free. All right. Now I'm going to end off this thread and get more thread. Okay. So that color that I used on the Bullion Knots was 948. And this is 758. And one of my viewers told me to pull from the side that has the number and you won't get tangled. Now someone else I know somewhere, somebody told me, if you pull one strand at a time, there's one, and straighten it out again, and then get another one. She uses 2 strands in everything she does. Except the bird, she said to use 1 strand of embroidery thread floss, and I tried it and I just, no, could not. Couldn't do it. That would be very, very time consuming. Where did I put my needles? Just had them. I'm going to try to do this on camera. While you're sitting here with me, now there's a big old green blob in the middle of there, and I'm going to try to, if I had thought about it, see what I did? I did the stem stitch all the way, and now I'm trying to do a flower over top of that stem stitch. If I had thought about it, I would not have done that. So I think she might use French knots, but I like my colonial knots. So with a colonial knot, you go back this way, make a backward C, and go in there, and then around this way to make a figure 8. And then, now I always put the needle in, hold it from the back, and then tighten. I don't want it too tight because I want them kind of loose. And notice I'm holding that end while I'm pulling through. Oh, isn't that cute? Well, you know, that green blob in the middle there might make it more dimensional, you know? All right, I'm gonna pull kind of tight, not too tight. Hold it down and pull through. Also, I have, again, a milliner's needle. Probably didn't need to pull that one so tight. All right. Milliner's needle always for knots. If you want nice knots. Again, back this way like a C, and then around to make a 8, and then back down. Pull tight, not too tight. And then as long as you have a milliner's needle, it should slide through really easily. There we go. Now I want to put in enough of these that it'll cover that green bit that I did there. And I'll do another one slow so that you can see. Sometimes I forget that I am sort of teaching. So you might want to see, you know, slowly. I'm going to hold the thread, go back this way, like a backward C, and around that way. Now I'm trying to go through all that thread. Pull it tight, not too tight. Hold it down and pull through. Isn't that nice? Isn't that sweet? All right, one more, and then I have one thing I'm going to show you. I didn't do that very slowly, did I? All right, this should cover up all that green. That's a nice. Nope, there's still some green there. Dang it. Dang it, dang it. Oh, let's pull that a little tight again. All right, let's go right. Just go over top of that. All right. Hold it. Make a backward C, and then around this way. Now, I'm going to go over top of that green blob. Pull it tight, not too tight, and then pull through. That's a nice. All right, I want to show you something. I keep telling myself I need to clean. And I clean a little bit and I find something, or like I watch YouTube while I'm cleaning. And I should just watch, you know, boring something. I should just watch Netflix or something boring. This might be a number 1 milliner's needle. Might be a 5, might be a 1. Doesn't really matter. We're going to do some I'm really interested these days in stump work or dimensional embroidery. And when I started to look around and research a bit, I realized that I already know some of the things, the stump work things. Now, I'm going to get, this is a, this is where I'm at on this little thing. And I'm not terribly happy with these stitches, with these Picot, these woven Picot things. I feel like I'm getting better. I haven't done these for a while, and I know for a fact that you just have to practice. You just gotta practice. So I thought I would show you, because I was going to show you again, because you probably can't see in that video. But I'd show you again how to do this. But I'm going to use a, this is felt. I don't think it's wool felt. I think it's just craft felt. And this is a tapestry needle. It's just like a chenille needle, but there's no point on it. This is 3/4 of an inch. I measured all this so that I could tell you guys. That's 3/8 of an inch. These sides are 1/2 an inch, and that is 1/4 of an inch. So one thing that I realized that I did, excuse me, when I did my other ones, hold on a second. Yes. It's still morning and I'm drinking tea now. What I realized what I did. What did I do? Sorry. Oh God. Okay. I should have a regular needle to do this part, but it doesn't matter. We'll make do. And then I'm going to come up right in the center of those two. Then, oh, I know what I realized. I realized that on those ones that she did, they're supposed to be long and skinny. And this is what I'm going to do. This is not fabric. This is, I wove that. I did some weaving. And I ran out of thread and had a blank spot there. So that's why there's French knots, just knots and stuff. And a little silly looking little bee. So I may do this for my fall stitch and swap. I don't know why. Oh, pay attention. I'm going to go under here. Then I'm going to pull this tight. Then I'm going to go under, over, under. And you want to slide the needle back and forth like that so you know that you haven't gotten fabric or threads or anything. So much easier with the tapestry needle. What did I do? All right, now I'm going to go over, under, over. I'm going to push those threads up. I think it's just hard at the beginning. There we go. Make sure that that's pulled tight. And then I can hold it here. I feel like I'm making it look harder than it is. It's really not very hard. So I might use this, excuse me, for my stitch and swap. And I'm sorry that if you wanted to sign up and you didn't yet, it's too late. Maybe next time. Hoping there will be a next time. I love Happy Mail. I love to get Happy Mail. I love to send Happy Mail. How cool is that? Oh, and I wanted to mention Shirley from Vancouver, BC. No, from Vancouver? She's from Canada. She's just north of me. Probably over 1,000 miles north, but she is just north of me. She posted, go visit my community page, and she posted a photo of a hexagon bag that she made that's all decorated. So pretty, so pretty, so very Jennifer Clouston. So go visit and give it a like, because it's very cool. If you have something you'd like to share with me, please visit my community page. I believe you have to be on your iPhone. And I noticed this new thing when I was on my iPhone, that you can boost someone's video. I need to find out more about that because it showed up for me. Heard somebody mention it and I went, what? Huh? And then I actually saw it and I was able to boost my friend's video. So that was pretty cool. I don't know what it does. I need to ask Nora. Chat GPT. Okay, now when I get to this point, I can take this pin out and I went through some of those fibers. Should have taken the pin out earlier. Okay, now I can flop it back and forth. So I'm going to go under the center one. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go under the center one again. Now, it might be a good idea to count as you're doing this, because I tend to, I did this before one time and I ended up with some that looked really, really packed in there and others that weren't. So I don't like this. So what I told you about the way you start, ignore that. I don't know if that's the way to start. All right. Now I'm just going to go to the back and end off. So there's your woven picot stitch. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to finish that. I'm going to finish this. So this, I have my woven picot stitches there. And I have my... I don't think this is enough thread. So I have a piece of thread here. I'm only using 2 strands. This is not the right color though. I want, doesn't really matter, does it? They're very similar colors. See? That may have been off camera, sorry. But they are very similar colors. But this one has been sitting on a card for many, many years. I'm going to stop doing that. I have to figure out a better thread solution that leaves them intact. And I want to leave the skeins like this so that it has the number. And I do realize that when you get to the end of the skein, it's not really going to stay there very easily. But you can always put a pin through it. I'm not having a good eye day today. I think that's why I'm having trouble with that stitch. Actually, I was doing that yesterday. And then I went to bed and I thought, you know, maybe in the morning my eyes will be better. I'm going to have to talk to Nora about that. Just see what she has to say. Okay, I'm going to start up here because these look nicer. Those look prettier. What I'm going to do here is a padded stem stitch. So I want the stitches to go horizontally. So why am I doing vertical stitches then? Well, this is the padding. And I think that you could do a little piece of felt or a little, I don't know, something this tiny. You can't really do a little tiny piece of felt. This is, I may have mentioned already. If so, you'll have to forgive me. Also, you'll notice I'm going up and down. Like I'm not trying to conserve thread. See, there's a lot of thread on the back there too. And I could even scoop stitch, which is down and back up in one motion. I was watching Jennifer Clouston this morning. Oh, I so appreciate her videos so much. Jennifer stab stitches and she uses a hoop. I used to use a hoop. I always had a hard time getting used to it. And then I realized that I don't have to. I don't have to if I don't want to. All right, now I'm going to start the vertical stitches. So I'm going to come over here to this side. And yes, I know that this little thing is not going to be included. It's going to be like there's a slight gap there. Don't really care. This is tiny, teeny tiny, and I don't know that anyone's going to look really, really closely. If they do, they're going to see that loop at the top of that there. And all the other little imperfections. And to me, that just means that it confirms that it's not done by a machine. It is definitely hand stitched. I am on camera. All right, this time I'm going to travel down just a bit. And see, all those stitches on the back are also adding to the bulk. So you get this nice, I think I started to mention that this is dimensional embroidery. It's also called stump work. I did a class. Oh, I'm sorry. I constantly interrupt myself, I know. When I repeat myself to my daughter, she points it out to me. She'll tell me, Mom, you already told me that. Okay, fine. Whatever. Can't you just listen to it again and say, oh, that's nice, dear? Because that's what I do with her. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to tell you again. Because maybe I did forget to tell you. Maybe you need to hear it 3 times. Because for me, sometimes I need to hear things 3 times. I'm not very bright. Okay, I've gone silent. All right. I think I need 1 or 2 more stitches here. So that's how I do the calyx. Now, I'm going to end this off. And I have 1 more flower to do. And then we're going to do a really, really pretty ribbon. Wait till you see this ribbon. It's going to be so pretty. Okay. I have, this is DMC Floss 778. And again, I'm going to use 2 strands. All right. Just going to go. Heck. Oh, do I like that? I don't know if I like that. All right, I can at least start and show you how this knot is done. And then I change it. And I think too, I didn't do a big enough knot. Because I did, earlier this morning, I did one of those woven picot stitches. I didn't have a big enough knot, and this fabric is so thin. By the way, this fabric is from, this is the kitchen towels that I love. This is from a pair of pants that I bought. Saw them at Target on clearance. They were like a summer thing. You can see the fabric's really thin there. And I wasn't sure if they would fit, but I thought, you know what? They don't fit. That fabric is really nice. And I like it. And they were too long, so I cut off 5 inches. And I'm going to use it for stuff. But it is really thin. Okay, so Palestrina knot. Take a little bite out of the fabric. Then I'm going to go in. Do I go up? Yes, I think I go up. Sorry. I go up. So then I pull the thread this direction. Then there's a little teeny tiny Y there. I don't know if you see it. Then I'm going to put my needle back under that side of that Y, and I'm going to go around making a knot. See? You see? You see? I don't want to pull it too tight. Then I'm going to go right next to it. Now, this might be hard to see because it's teeny, teeny, tiny. Take a little bite out of the fabric. Then I'm going to go, and these are really close together because I want it to look a bit like rope. I'm going to pull that direction. Then I'm going to go underneath. I think you can see. Underneath the bottom thing of the Y. And I'm wrapping the thread because I want a knot. I'm going to pull kind of tight. And then, again, a little bite out of the fabric, pull through. Up through. I don't think you can see the Y, but there's a Y there. And then I'm going to go under, made a loop with my thread. I'm going to go under the bottom of that Y. I might just get tapestry needle. All right, one more time. I'll just show you one more time, if you insist. You insist. There's the little bite out of the fabric, up through, and then I'm going to pull this direction. And then I have my Y Gonna burr, 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 burr. There we go. And make a knot. Ta-da! Okay. I am going to go. I'm liking this so far. I'm going to finish this off camera. I think I might need one more of those up there. Maybe down here. Maybe a little thing there. I'm going to finish and I will iron that out because that always makes a big difference. Then I have this side. This is my tag. I think I'm going to do some cantha stitch here with some just white thread, I think. And then, but I'll be back. I had to come back because I looked at my desk and I have this DMC G3852 sitting on my desk. I used it for this, for those little notes. And I thought, how pretty would that be? Gosh. So I thought I'd just share this with you. Now, this thread is, it's kind of like stiff. I think it's actually metal. Really nice. And I want to make sure that I pull the knots tight enough, but not too tight. I think with this, like with anything, you need to just do it again and again and again. That's about an 1/8 of an inch. I mean, an 1/8 of an inch. One of those little knobby things. My mother would say a scant 1/8 of an inch, which means it's not quite an 1/8 of an inch. But you wouldn't say, you know, 16/32 or whatever. That would be 1/2 an inch. Sorry. You wouldn't say, whatever that is, whatever the exact amount, because that would just sound silly, pretentious, whatever. All right. Oh, I love this thread. Look at this. And because this is a Christmas thing, look at that. How pretty is that? Okay. Now I'll be back. Okay, here I am. I ironed out the blue marks and I really like it. Actually, I forgot this, the little flower that was here. I did it wrong. You're supposed to do the bullion knots longer and then do the, instead of the calyx like this, it's the same color as the bullion knots. So I took it out and I was going to redo it, but I don't know. I think I like it just like that. Like Rachel said on one of her videos, I'm watching all of the Christmas journal videos again, and she said sometimes less is more, and I think that's true in this case, especially. I think less is more. So that's my video for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.